Hey guys, DestroT.King here. Today we're going to be going over the Gizmech deck profile. This is my very first Gizmech deck profile video, or my very first deck profile video, let me rephrase that, and I hope you enjoy it. Let's get straight on into it. Now we're going to start off the deck with 3 copies of the Hopping Hare of Hakuto. Sorry about that, couldn't get those out. This card is one of your best normal summons in the deck, and a very great banishing graveyard effect. When this card is normal summoned, you automatically get special summon another machine from your hand whose attack equals his own defense, which you can do several cards in this deck, because most of the deck itself is machine with the same attack as defense, which makes it really easy to go into certain plays, or go into certain synchro plays, fusion plays, Xyz plays, or link plays. It's harder to go into any of the others but link plays, but with certain setups, yes you can, and it's possible. Next we're going to play 2 copies of the Sunrise Signaler. I play it as a 2-up in the deck because of its amazing ability, which allows you to tribute it and summon one whose attack equals his own defense, but it's got to be lower level. That's mainly the reason why I play it as a 2-up, but overall it's not that bad. Next we play 3 copies of the Immobile Intellect. I play it as a 3-up because it's a great card just to special summon off of other card effects, because if you do end up special summoning this card, or if you do end up normal summoning it, whichever you do, you get to place a machine whose attack equals his own defense from the deck onto the top of the deck from wherever you want. Next, we're going to play 3 copies of the Hailbringer Hog. The Hailbringer Hog is a great 3-up in the deck because if you do end up controlling a Gizmech card and it's not your first normal summon, like let's say even special summon a Gizmech off the bat, you can special summon him. You do not have to normal summon him, which makes it a great play, and it's got a great banishing effect, which makes it a really nice card in general. Next, we're going to play 3 of my favorite cards, a 3-up of my favorite card in the deck, the Gleaming Vanguard. Vanguard's an amazing card, for you can tribute a card, which is normal summon, to special summon this card from your hand, and then get a free normal summon afterwards. What's really great about it is that if it is tributed by its own effect, let's say you normal summoned the Ferocious Fanged Fortress, you can gain 2,050 life points, which does set you to 10,050 life points above your opponent, which could give you a great advantage. Next, we're going to play 2 copies of the Ferocious Fanged Fortress. I leave it as a 2-up in the deck because it is a harder to use card because it can't really special summon it by its own effect. But if you do end up getting 6 banished cards by the effect of other cards, for instance, the Serpentron Sky Slayer, you can normal summon it without tributing, but if it is destroyed by battle, you get to return those cards. Next, we obviously play the Festive Fox of... Well, sorry about that. The Festive Fox is obviously a great 3-up in the deck because it's also kind of a hand trap per se. It's not actually a hand trap if you're thinking it is, but if your opponent does special summon from the deck, which they can use the effect of, like take Tomborg, that's a good example. Example I use, Speedroid. You do get a special summon this card, and then automatically they get 300 damage, and you get a special summon a wind from your deck because the monster's a wind. Because if your opponent special summons a monster, normal or special summons, you can special summon a Gizmech from your deck whose is the same attribute. For instance, they summon Light, you can summon the Gleaming Vanguard or the Sunrise Signaler, but if they summon a card like Earth, you can also summon another Festive Fox or the Immobile Intellect. Let me take these cards out of the way really quick so I can get to the others. Next up in the deck, I only play a 2-up, but the Serpentron Sky Slayer. I usually play him as a 2-up in the deck because you can special summon from your hand or graveyard by banishing 8 cards, which is a huge price to pay, but then you're automatically allowed to use his effect when he's on the field, where you can just get rid of 3 cards from your extra deck and just destroy an opponent's card, which is really nice in the deck, but sometimes you might not want to do that. Next, I play 2 copies of the Supreme Shining Sky Stag. This is amazing 2-up in the deck because if there is a monster in the extra monster zone, you can special summon this card, and then you can target one card in the extra monster zone and equip it to it. When it destroys an opponent's monster, you can automatically just special summon the equipped card, so you can take an opponent's card and then just summon it to your field. Next, we play 2 copies of the Dreaded Dragon, or Deluge Dragon. I play as it as a 2-up in the deck because it is quite hard to special summon because you have to get rid of 2 cards. Not get rid of 2 cards. You have to have 2 cards from the extra deck special summon to the field. So if your opponent has one on the field, you could special summon another and then automatically just special him. Or if your opponent does special summon 2, you can special summon him and then you can use other effects he has to remove extra deck cards. Next, we play a single copy of DestroT.1. DestroT.1 is one of the tuners you're going to use in this deck. There are other tuners you can use, but I play DestroT.1 because also if you're not using him as a tuner, he does gain 500 attack and defense for each machine you control. Next, I play another tuner, my other tuner, which is also a tune, you could say, a tuner. This card is one of my favorite tuners to use in the deck because you can equip it to a card giving it 500 attack and defense, and it's just a protection. They can't attack it and destroy it. But if they do attempt to destroy that card, you'd have to get rid of this card, sadly, instead. Next, I play 2 copies of Eater of Million. Eater of Million is a nice banishing to get a few cards out of the way. Just to banish a few cards off your field, you're just going to get rid of for a while, but not entirely, because you can bring them back with other monster effects. And last but not least for the monsters, I play 3 of the best hand traps in Yu-Gi-Oh! Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom's a great hand trap to prevent your opponent from searching cards from their deck and just getting it to their hand. Anyways, let me put these away and we will get into the spells and traps. Spells and traps in this deck are completely up to you. You can change them up a bit if you want, but I start off with a single copy of Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn is an easy, just special summon in the deck, where you can just get a card from your graveyard back into your field, making it really nice just to revive a monster you got rid of. Next, we play 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone. Cosmic Cyclone is an amazing trap to get rid of. It does have a cost to pay 1,000 life points, but with the Gleaming Vanguard, you get 2,000 life points, so you have some life points to spend. Next, we play 2 copies of Limit Remover. Limit Remover is a nice card in the deck because most of your main deck is Machine, which means you can double their attack and then just go all out, but they're sadly destroyed during the end phase, so it's not always the best option, but it's a great way if you can OTK your opponent. Last but not least, we play 3 copies of the Sacred Scroll of Gizmech Legends. This is one of the best searchers in the deck. Not a searcher. You get to excavate the top 3 cards and take 1 Gizmech, but it does banish them, and eventually you'll get 6 banished, so you can normal summon that 1 Gizmech, the Ferocious Fang, and then if it's destroyed, you get to return those. Also, if you do end up summoning 10 machine monsters, with the same attack as defense, you do put a counter for each, and therefore making all of your opponent's monsters, which don't have the same attack as defense, immobilized, meaning they can't really do anything because they can't use their effect. Which makes it really nice because most of your deck does have the same attack as defense. Not the extra deck though. Not all of them do. Speaking of the extra deck, let me put all of these spells and traps away and let's get into the extra deck. If starting the extra deck, I only play single copy of Nightmare Griffin. Nightmare Griffin is a great way to get one of your spells and traps back in the graveyard because you used it and you want to reuse it again. You get to just discard a card, set it, but it can't be activated that turn. Next, we play a single copy of Borrelsword Dragon. I play a copy of Borrelsword Dragon in the deck because I like the card in general. It's a nice boss monster just to get on the field and mess with opponents' cards, which are just being a pain. I do play 2 copies of Nightmare Cerebus. Cerebus is a great way to get rid of some special summon cards your opponent controls, and at the cost of 2 cards with 2 different names. Next, I play a single copy of Nightmare Phoenix, another way to get rid of a spell or trap on the field which is causing a pain to you. This is one of the cards you can use. And last but not least for the Link monsters, I play Raten the Heavenly General. It's just a great card in general, because it does actually have the ability during each battle phase you get to destroy an opponent's card, which makes it really nice for certain plays. That's it for the Link monsters. Let's get into the Fusion. Fusion, I only do 2 copies of a card in Fusion. The Elder Entity, I only play it as a 2-up in the deck because it's one of the only fusions I can summon, which I own. I'm trying to get more copies of fusions I could use, but for now, this is mainly all I can use. If you have other fusions you want to use or play, you can, but this is what I have. Now for the XZs, I play a single copy of the Ooze Giant. This is the one part of your pendulum scale you're going to need. Because I have 2 parts in it, the other is a Synchro monster. This allows you to pendulum summon, which is an amazing form of summoning. Next we play the Dragon Lark Perrin. This is just a nice card to get on the field because of its fun ability, which does allow you to give it a little bit of protection for battle or card effect. But if they do destroy the other card summoned by its effect, you have no more protection. Next I play a single copy of Explorer Nor. This is a nice card in the deck. I don't really XZ summon it that much. I don't really like it. I don't like XZ summoning it as much because it doesn't have the same attack as defense, but you can use its ability to pretty much do what its ability does. Get rid of a card. Next I play 1 Experlily Beauty. This is a nice card to negate your opponent's card on the field if it's being annoying to you, and you can use its effect to negate. It's just a fun card to use. That's it for the XZs. Now we're going to go into my favorite section in this extra deck, the Synchro, with the Supreme Sovin. Chang Ying is a great Synchro in the deck because this is the only Synchro which has the same attack as defense, and its ability gains attack and defense. So his attack and defense are always equal. But you do end up banishing a lot in this deck, so it gains attack for each banished, which isn't that bad. And you can also protect it by banishing a card. Next we play a single copy of Scrap Dragon. Scrap Dragon's a nice 1-up in the deck because of its pretty okay ability, where you can just destroy a card in your field, destroy a card your opponent controls, which is pretty fine to do. Get rid of an opponent's boss monster if you can, just by sacrificing one of yours. And last but not least, we play the Symphic Warrior Rocks. I only keep this as a 1-up because it's the other pendulum scale. It's a really nice because at 10 to... It's a pendulum scale 10, and you can combo it with the pendulum scale 3, and you can pendulum summon from your deck all the way from 4 to 9. Which is most of the cards in the deck itself, which makes it really, really easy to duel when you can just summon cards which you were not able to normal summon before. Well, that's it for the deck itself. I hope you enjoyed it, and before you leave, I'm going to roll a dice. Let's see what number we get. Look at that. 6 plus 3. That's a number 9. Now, what I want from this video, I want to either get 9 likes, 9 subscribers, or 9 comments. I want to get one of those 3 from this video. Anyways, thanks for watching. Tune in next time. I hope you enjoyed it. See you.